in the wake of concerns raised by one of the ruling houses in Ijesha regarding the selection of the new Owa Obokun of Ijesha land, Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State gave his assurances that the process would be conducted in a free, fair, and unimpeachable manner. Well, shortly after, a former deputy governor of the state, Clement Adeshuyi Hastrup, emerged the new Owa Obokun, and the governor promptly presented him the staff and paraphernalia of office. But the matter of the new monarch's emergence may have left a long-lasting controversy on the crown. Well, we're now being joined for a quick chat by Prince Kayode Arimoro of the Arimoro dynasty of Owa Obokun, Royal Stool, Ijesha, Osun State, to discuss this controversy, the need for reform in the process of kingship selection in Yoruba land, and also how to resolve the rift over the Ijesha throne. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us this day on Newsday.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
So can you please give us, also for those who might not be following the situation, what is the backstory and what is the issue?
Yeah, so my name is Prince Kayode Michael Arimoro. I'm an Ijesha prince, a descendant of Owa Bilaro Oluodo ruling dynasty in Ijesha land. And so Ijesha land, as blessed as it is with the natural resources and the people, of course, you know, it's a part of Nigeria in the southwest. And September 12th, the late Owa Adekunle Aromolaro joined our ancestors. There was a 90-day mourning, and then the process to choose the new Owa began. But there are certain processes laid down traditionally for how this should be done. This is not what was done. So a lot of princes have been disenfranchised, because, you know, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And we are now in a nation where the crops of politicians we have decided to be emperors instead of governing people with the rule, within the confines of the rule of law. So there are certain laid down processes, you know, unambiguous processes on how this should be done. So we have the kingmakers, made up of 13 people, 13 chiefs, and one of them is late, so it's 12. And a new Owa emerged suddenly by a spot process called in the local government, where only 4 kingmakers voted and 1 warrant chief. It's unconstitutional. It does not go in tandem to what our forefathers have laid down for us, and to God, and in the eyes of the law, we do not have a new Owa Obokun as it is now. The case is in court. Everything that happened was against an injunction that was given by a competent judge. But then the state still went ahead, not minding the injunction, not minding the respect for the traditional chiefs and the processes as it should play out, and they have done what they want to do. Because we have a lacuna in the judiciary. So these people understand that this man is going to be removed, but they know that because of the lacuna, if they speedily do whatever they want to do, he's going to be there 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, if you're lucky, maybe 4 years, and then the law will catch up. Why waste the time of people, peace-loving people that care about doing things the right way? You know, so these are things that, aside solving this one, people should look at it. The Nigerian Bar Association should look at it, and the Supreme Court should have like an oversight, people that will look at things where people that are in position. Because at the end of the day, if you do not want anarchy, you have to enforce the law, and you have to make people function within the confines of the law. If you're a politician, you're supposed to be the chief law enforcing officer, not the person that breaks the law. So this is the backstory as regards this. And it is just important. I've always called for peace. People like us depend on the judiciary as the final line of defense. Some of the judiciaries have been bought. But then, in every generation in the history of Nigeria, based on what I know, there will always be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 people that do not care about what they give them in terms of money, they will still respect the law and implement that to the fullest.
Well, you said that an illegality has been done, but a number of prominent individuals seem willing to move on from what has happened. The Asiwaju of Ijesha Land, Chief Yinka Fashui, and of course the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Ibadan, of Yoruba Land, that's Chief Gani Adams. They've asked all parties to reconcile, saying that you should not derail the trajectory of progress that has been laid by his predecessor. What are your thoughts, on calls from these prominent Nigerians, to give peace a chance and just move forward?
Yeah, you've mentioned two people that I have utmost respect for. Asiwaju of Ijesha Land, one of my close friends told me it was one of the best decisions the late king made to headhunt for that guy and make him Asiwaju of Ijesha Land. I've not met him in person. I've read about so many things he did in recent times. Life-changing things, actually, for Ijesha Land. And I have utmost respect for him until I saw one of his articles where he said, progress is important. I support that. I love it. But then he said, the case that is in court should be thrown away and people should just unite. So if you are that much of a respected person, I would think you have certain principles that guide your actions. And it's about calling a spade, calling what is good, good, and what is bad, bad. You do not, for any reason, except whatever you've achieved is out of the need for recognition and the need for attention. I do not see where the principles lie. And the fact that they said that does not mean we should throw away the law. Should we say, if I have a child that passed an exam because he cheated and is awarded something, I should forget about the fact that he cheated? Because this is clear cheating. It is, you have princes, these are your kith and kins. The person that's chosen, we have the same blood flowing through us, right? So as a young child, when I was 13, I remember writing a petition. Against my dad. He was the pastor of a church at 13. I love my dad. But then I feel like it's my responsibility to call him to order. And that is the case now. This person that is chosen is like a father figure. He's in his 70s. He has done a lot of things. But things have to be done the right way. The Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò is not from Ijesha Land. He does not know our traditions. He does not understand our ways and means. He does not understand our process. He could just see and believe that whatever was done the right way. But here, as a concerned prince and a concerned Nigeria that sees that Nigeria as a nation is at the precipice, if urgent actions are not taken, is at the precipice of collapse because of certain monetary policies. And I see the grassroots as an opportunity where you build from bottom up. I see the grassroots as partners with people that are dishing out these policies, which, by the way, should be simulated from the federal government down to the state government. And so my perception is that I have utmost respect for them. Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò does not know anything about our tradition. Asiwaju of Ijesha Land has done a lot for Ijesha Land, but this is one of the most important things he should do. And you don't, when you play your hand, it's a decision making. Any decision you make has its action, has its result. Is either good or bad. On no condition should you stop someone from addressing his grievances by depending on the law. You don't call people to unite over someone that cheated or to unite over someone that has utmost disrespect for our tradition. It is sacred to us that understand it. I can forgive people that are not from Ijesha Land, but I am an Ijesha prince, and I know that what our fathers and founding fathers have done since the 1300s should not go to waste because politicians decided to be emperors and have utmost disrespect for the rule of law.
And I guess in the parlance of the millennials and the new age kids, it would be called standing on business. You wanting to make sure that this court case goes through and things are heard. But the suggestion of everyone coming together and putting everything aside in order to go ahead with the coronation of this, it's tantamount to throwing the baby out with the bathwater. My question now is, when it comes to traditional and kingship rights, what role should the law play in there, our judiciary? Just like you said, Nigeria is on the precipice of some very interesting times. We know the role that the judiciary has played in the political spheres. It's been a little bit rocky there, but especially within traditional rights and kingship rights that have things of resorting to oracles and, just historical things. Where does the judiciary stand? Should they be ruling on any of these matters at all?
Okay, so I give you a clear example in this particular case. So, irrespective of your religion or where you worship, one thing is clear that we know. We know that God is just, and God is fair, and God is balanced. Sometimes we say that all fingers are not equal and all that, but then, and this is how we see God. So let me make this clear. In 1896, my forefather, my great-grandfather, who is Farotimi Okonade, also known as Arimoro, let's say, okay. That name you see as the last name was his nickname at war during the 1870s, the Kiriji War. He was one of those that protected the territories of Ijesha land when the Oyo people were trying to run us over. In 1896, he was called to be Owa. He was called. There wasn't like whatever is happening now. The oracles felt he was the one. The kingmakers felt he was the one. And he said, look, I've served this land for many years. I'm over 90 years. The Owa of Ijesha land should be a young, vibrant person. And then we had the Olaju Ijeshas, let me put it that way. Olaju means the exposed Ijesha people who were in Lagos, who were clamoring for a young king. But within his kith and kings at that time, many of them were old, so he said he didn't want it, but they depended on him for action. And so this person that was chosen now, one of his great-grandfathers was chosen at that time, or maybe grandfather, in the name Frederick Kumokun. That is Hastrop 1, Ajimoko 1. Okay. Now, so we're a family of four ruling, there's four ruling dynasties in Ijesha land. Bilaro is one of them. We have the Biladus, Bilayariri, and Bilagbayos. We are the Bilaros. In the Bilaros, there are four lineages. We have the Arimoros, the Ofokutus, the Ajimokos, who are also the Hastrops, and then we have the Fajamisins. Now, you have four brothers. Over about 130 years ago, my grandfather gave you a son of one of his cousins, who is a lady. So it's matrilineal. The source of the person that was chosen now is matrilineal, right? You had the opportunity in 1896. In 1942, it was the turn of Bilaro again, and it was the Hastrops. So you have Ajimoko 1, Ajimoko 2. There's no Arimoro 1, there's no Fajemisin 1. So they know that in the court of law, because of the rule of equal representation and fairness, right, in terms of tradition, in terms of chieftaincy, they know he does not stand a chance. It is going to be, if you want to go about it the right way, he's not going to stand a chance. So they had done everything accelerated. They refused to allow things go how it should. So, and now everybody knows, if you have within your line, within your dynasty, one family going 3 times, while the others haven't gone, it means all of you have decided that that family, that lineage that is going 3 times, is the only existing one in that dynasty. So why should people, and then we have a lot of vibrant people. In the Bilaro ruling house, we have beautiful, fantastic fantastic princes that have achieved a lot in Nigeria and overseas. Allow this thing play free and fair. You know, don't just... I give you an example.
I'm so sorry to cut in. You know, you've spoken very well and we understand the point you're trying to make. But then some critics are wondering really how relevant are traditional leaders in Nigeria, seeing as their roles right now, it seems to be largely politicized, it's partisan, which you've also, you know, referred to in the beginning. So is this something that maybe should be reformed? Is it even needed anymore, you know, in our democracy? What are your thoughts? Very quickly.
Yeah, I think generally the biggest problem we have as a nation is democracy. Because we do not have the people, and the problem is you and I, is everybody. So the people, the intellectuals that can make changes and everything, their parents tell them, don't do politics. And so they step away, and you allow the crops of people you have to do the politics. These people have no respect for the rule of law, so they keep tweaking the laws to favor them and empower them more at the detriment of our traditional rights. When Nigeria was working, it was starting from that grassroots. If something were to happen in a particular compound, the head of that compound would know, and then the chain continues that way. Okay, so of course there's a need for reform. I can tell you on my fingertip that I do not understand why the state governor should be able to fire a traditional ruler. People have visions. If you are the state governor and you are not, and allocations are given to you, and I'm the head of my kingdom, and I'm not seeing you implementing those things that you've taken the money, I have the right to ask. Now, if you, in Nigeria, when you see people bold, ask questions, they just fire them. So we need to have that checks and balances in government, and everything, including the chief law, has to be revised. But even the chief law unrevised, the chief law as it is now was not respected in this process. Let's get that clear. There's no respect for rule of law whatsoever in this process.
Well, we hope you continue to stand on business and pursue all the things for your royal lineage. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Prince Kayode. It was great to have this discussion. All the best.
Thank you very much.